So when Dawn asked me to do a service in May, I thought, great, I had a perfect topic. Who have you come here to be? And then it turned out to be Mother's Day, and I thought, what a perfect topic. So I invite you to imagine a world where we all live from who we have come here to be and raise our children to do the same. So Mother's Day is special for me this year. I am a grandma. And I put being a grandma in my vision years ago, before my daughter was even married. When she first talked about getting married, I put it in my vision, and I record my vision, and I listen to it 3 times a day. So I just wanted to share with you what I have in my vision about being a grandma.
I love being a grandma. Being a grandma is an overflowing source of fun, magic, and love.
So now that I have my being a grandma realized, I'm actually going to be seeing her this afternoon. And as I'm getting ready to do this happens to me every time. When I go to do something, I receive emails or Facebook messages or something that completely relates to what I'm doing. So this week I received an email from Chris Duncan, and it was titled, "The Power You Have as a Parent and Why That Matters." And this is what he said: "I've come to understand something more deeply than ever. Parenting is not just about raising a child. It's about shaping a fountain of human life." Intense, right? The truth is, every interaction, every word, and every moment of connection or disconnection holds the potential to leave an imprint. It has become increasingly clear to me that the role of a parent is pivotal in helping a child not only navigate life's external challenges, but also shape the unconscious wounds they inevitably created between the age of 0 and 7. When we recognize the power we have as parents to either pass on or interrupt these parents, we gain the opportunity to create something extraordinary. We can become the guardians, not only of our child's external growth, but their inner liberation. And then I received another email on Friday titled, "Become the Parent Your Child Needs." So isn't that perfect for what we're talking about today? And that's really what I am going to be teaching. And this is based, well, the title is based on this book, Who Have You Come Here to Be? And it was written by Rima Benario, Jane Simmons, and Kelly Isola. And Jane and Rima, along with Gary Simmons, are the co-founders of the organization that created the art of quantum living. So I want to read this passage from the book. It says, "Quantum science is now demonstrating what the saints and sages have said for centuries. Physicists, say that 10 times fast. Physicists are the new metaphysicians revealing cosmic truth, not through years of meditation or prayer, but through extraordinary and mundane experiments conducted in leading-edge labs and graduate schools. They have proof of what every mystic has known. Our senses cannot be trusted. What we think we see is not what it is. We must have faith in things unseen. We do not live in a world of fixed, solid, unchanging stuff. We live in a world of infinite potential, where every possibility exists at once, until the moment we decide otherwise. It is our belief, our faith, which creates, and it is the quality of faith that brings about the experience of heaven or hell in the here and the now. And the science is clear. We really are the one we've been waiting for. We create the quality of our lives by who we are being on the inside. So this also comes along with, oh, I don't have my cards up there, a deck of cards. I brought them with me. I didn't bring them up. Too many things to carry. So I decided to pick a card for this week, and the card that I selected was guided. I have come here to be guided. I release the illusion that I am alone. I enter the stillness of my heart and listen to the voice of God. I trust the divine presence is guiding me every moment of every day. So I thought that was perfect for today. So when I say, who have you come here to be? What comes to mind for you? Have you allowed your judgments or your own meaning-making keep you from being who you have come here to be? So what are the judgments and where do they come from and how can we stop them? This is called the stick man. And it is all about, Thurman Fleet created this to teach his medical students how the mind works. So our mind consists of two parts, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. Our conscious mind is the thinking mind. It's the educated mind. It's the intellect. And our unconscious mind is our emotional mind. Our conscious mind is where we get to choose, accept, or reject, and it originates thought. And our unconscious mind must accept. It cannot reject, and it doesn't know the difference between what we tell it and what is real. So if we go back to the email from Chris Duncan, he talks about this age between 0 and 7. So if we look at us as an infant when we are young and before the age of 7, our conscious mind doesn't exist. That's the filtering mind that goes into the subconscious. So think about it. Everything we see, everything we hear goes into the unconscious without a filter. So think about that. That's how we create our self-image and our paradigms. So as a result, everything we experience goes into our subconscious, and that's why we say we inherit our parents' beliefs, their parents' beliefs, and their parents' beliefs. And I just wanted to say a caveat as we're going through this, is that every parent, every person is always doing the best they can. So this isn't about blaming or shaming anybody. Everybody in the moment is doing the best they can based on what happened to them as they were growing up. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm blaming or shaming anybody. It is the human nature that this is the way it works. So think about those first 7 years. What would it be like if everybody around you lived from who they have come here to be? Since this is not most of our upbringings, the good news is that we can change it. But how do we do that? It's all about transformation. In her book, You Can't Sleep Through Your Awakening, that's another one of my props here, Jane Simmons talks about translation versus transformational practices. Translational practices aim to ease the discomfort of whatever is showing up. For example, if it's prosperity, a translational practice would be to try to get more in some way. The transformational practice would ask us to wake up to the fact that we are enough. And then the inner experience that is actually causing the sense of lack in our outer world would cease, because we go to the source of where it's coming from. So translational tries to ease the discomfort. Transformational gets to the root and does the integration work. The ego generally does not enjoy transformational work. This is for you, Lonnie. The ego. Thus, transformation is uncomfortable. And there's really nothing wrong with translational teachings. It's just that we are limited in its effectiveness for long-term transformation and growth. And there's a danger of using them as spiritual bypass to cover over the real issue. And the quantum living process, when practiced, has the potential of being highly transformative, since it's aimed at getting to what is behind the issue. The quantum living process is part of the class that I'm teaching called The Art of Quantum Living. And we teach this at least once a year, since it's a requirement to be a chaplain and to be a board member. So it will be taught again next year, maybe sooner. I have a feeling Annabelle might want to teach it a little bit sooner. And then Gary Simmons also talks about the concept in his mission-centric ministry blog. He says, personal transformation requires self-awareness that gives rise to a choice point, the capacity to choose one state of being, independent of how the current experience looks or feels. Once this autonomy emerges as an authentic impulse to grow beyond the limitations of the yesterday self, taking an action that demonstrates the new identification with a new perspective, untethered to the habits of one's unconscious self, brings forth a new personal reality. Authentic action leads to new brain maps and integration of past memories. The reconciliation of memories surrounding past hurts and traumas enables the individual to transcend patterns of unconscious living, the foundation of cleaning up and freeing oneself from unresolved issues of the past. Authentic action is the key part of quantum living process. So this is where the transformation happens. Transformation is uncomfortable. Transformation is also where the magic happens. I call it magic. It's not really magic because you have to do the work. It may look like magic to other people when they see how you've changed, but it's really you doing the work, and I really love, besides I love magic. So again, imagine a world, what a world would be like, where we all play the role of mothers at times, where we all related from who we have come here to be. So this is a picture of my mother. My mother passed away on Mother's Day in 1999. And this picture was taken at least 10 years before that, because my father died 10 years before her. And this is what I call, this is part of their prom picture. My father taught at ECC. And one year he volunteered to help out the students at their prom, and they had their picture taken. And I call this is my mother's part of the prom picture. So this is Mother's Day, and we at Unity love to celebrate all forms of mothers. So we're going to be passing out some flowers. So we will start with, are there any great grandmothers here? I know we have some in the community. How about great grandmothers? Do we have any great grandmothers? There we go. Okay, do we have any grandmothers? any mothers or mother figures? It could be fur babies or the environment or anything that you find a need to mother. Could be a mother figure, any other mothers. We are all the one to be mothers to ourselves, each other, the animals, the environment, the universe. Happy Mother's Day.
Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am. Be still, be still and know. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that Jesus says, peace be still, peace be still. Jesus says, peace be still, peace be still. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am. Be still, be still.
Perfect song, thank you. So I want to share with you this meditation from Jane Soon's book, The Eye of the Storm for Teens. And it's a little bit longer, like I said, than normal. And I first heard this, I did a week-long peacemaking training with Gary Simmons, and Jane was there and shared this story. And I'm grateful she put it in this book so that I can share it with you today. So I hope you enjoy it. So I invite you to sit in a relaxed and comfortable manner. Close your eyes if you feel comfortable. And just let these words soak into your subconscious. Once upon a time, you and I existed as spirited souls in another dimension, a dimension which is really quite different from the way it is here on earth. At that time and in that place, we heard exciting, marvelous stories about a journey that can be taken, that journey called life on earth. It was filled with so many experiences, and greatest desire we had was to go on the journey. So we went to God and made a request to God. And God said, "Are you sure you want to go? Life on earth is very different from our experience here. In this place, all we know is the light of truth. But on earth, because it isn't finished, because it is still engaged in the creative process, it is sometimes easy to get confused. People often wander into the darkness and they experience trouble because of that. Are you sure you want to go?" As eager, spirited souls, we responded with an enthusiastic, "Yes, we don't care if the earth isn't finished. We want to be part of that creative process. We want to go more than anything else." And God said, "There are no guarantees as to how long your journey will last. Life on earth might be 2 days, 2 years, 20 years, 70 or more." As eager-spirited souls residing in the light of truth, we understood that our existence is eternal. It doesn't begin or end with life on earth. We understood that regardless of how brief the journey, we would engage in magical, mystical, and rewarding experiences that would live on in our memories forever. We also understood that if and when we chose that another point in time, we would be another journey with new experiences. So we quickly agreed and said, "Yes, God, we accept those conditions. We want to go. The amount of time of our journey last makes no difference." And God said, "The vehicle that would allow you to go on this journey through life is called a body. There are no two alike. Your body will be unique to you and you alone, and it will provide you with many wonderful different experiences. But there are no guarantees as to what kind of body you will have. It might be big, it might be small, it might be strong, it might be frail, it might be extraordinarily different from any other body you may see." As eager, spirited souls, we responded with excitement and enthusiasm about the prospect of receiving our own very special body. We promised to love and care for it. We assured God that we would be proud of it. In the light of truth, we understood that a body is a great gift. It is a treasure, an incredible blessing. We understood that the differences and variations of one's body are a result of miraculous creative power of God. In the light of truth, we understood that our body is a magnificent temple in which the soul will reside. So we persisted in our request to experience life on earth. And God said, "Are you sure you want to go? Earth is a place that is far from being finished. In many ways, it's still in its infancy. There are no guarantees in regard to the experience that will come your way. You may experience bigotry or discrimination. You may be subject to harsh criticism and prejudices. There are those who have wandered into darkness, and they may reject you and consider you less than eager. As eager, spirited souls residing in the light of truth, we wanted to be part of a movement that would take humanity closer to the realization that every person is an object of praise. We wanted to be part of that order that beings the light of truth on earth. We wanted to establish a sense of oneness, unity, and harmony on earth. So we said, yes, God, we want to go. And God said, there are no guarantees. If you are born into an environment that is unloving, you may become emotionally injured. You may experience loneliness and pain. You may lose sight of your specialness. You may even become unloving yourself. On this journey, you may become confused. You may wander into the darkness and lose your way, where you will lose sight of the journey's value. But as spirited souls, residing in the light of truth, we understood that the journey is a progressive one. We understood that every experience will provide us with something of great benefit. We understood that life on earth is a learning process in which every individual, as well as humanity as a whole, is moving into the light of unity and love. We understood that every experience on the journey has purpose and meaning. So as eager, spirited souls, we persisted in our desire to go. And God said, okay, you can go. You will be allowed the great privilege of taking the journey called life on earth. But the journey is not without purpose. Your mission will be to express the light of truth so that the darkness can be dispelled. On this journey, you will have the benefit of many experiences. Don't fear them, for every experience has meaning and purpose, even if you don't recognize it at first. Don't resist or fear the experience of life, but rather embrace them. By turning to your heart and embracing those experiences, you can receive the gift within them. Using the power of love, you can be the light that shines in the darkness. You can be the one that brings kindness, goodness, and compassion to places where there is none. You can make the difference. Trust your heart. It is your compass and will make your journey a peaceful one. Your heart will keep you from getting lost. As eager-spirited souls, we were willing to go on this journey, but we were confused, and so we asked God, how will we know how to use our wisdom, our compassion? How can we make the difference? And God answered, all you have to do is go to your heart and ask, and I will give you all the guidance you need. So as we were being directed out the heavenly door, God's final words were, this is where our journey begins, and this is where our journey will end. For when you arrive back at this point, you will be greater in every way. Have confidence in yourself. There's nothing to fear. You have everything you need to complete this journey in a peaceful way. And as we embarked on our journey and began to move away, God called out, and one last thing, my precious child, don't forget to keep in touch. So I hope you enjoyed that little story, because we are all here on earth for a reason. So when you're ready, I invite you to open your eyes. And as we reflect on this marvelous, exciting journey called life on earth, let us remember that we live from who we have come here to be, and to allow others to do the same. And the world truly is a place of loving, supportive mothering. So thank you. And go forward and find ways to mother from who you have come here to be, and also allow others to be who they have come here to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Elena. Now is the time in our service for blessing of the prayer requests. And I'll ask Judy to come forward, the one who nurtures us with her delicious baked goods and many other things. But baked goods in my
Good morning. After that lovely lesson, thank you, Lynn. Let's just take this moment, take a deep breath, and relax. On this glorious day, we say, Divine Spirit within, thank you for this gorgeous day, for the sunshine that is outside and within this building, for all the love that is here, from all the moms and the dads, and all the people that we bless in our lives who have come here to show us such great love. Through the Spirit within, we bless all the prayers in the prayer box, the prayers in your heart for people who need healing in so many ways, and to know more joy and laughter, for that is also who we have come here to be, to enjoy every moment of every day. We thank you, dear God, for this gathering of special, like-minded people who all share this amazing gift of love. Thank you, thank you, thank you, dear God. Amen.
You stood at the crossroads, silent and stronger, opened your window and waited no longer, gleamed in the fields for the leavings of others. You're the wives and the daughters, the sisters and mothers. Without you, this all could not have happened. You are all the women, you made things happen there. Do not tell me you're afraid then. Remember who you are. You're all the women of power that have ever been. Remember who you are. You bathed in the moonlight, rose in the new dawn, widow, wife. You have cradled the newborn, prayed in the temple, gave birth in the stable, followed his footsteps, and served him at table. Without you, this all could not have happened. You are afraid then. Remember who you are. Remember